com/careers to learn more. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Western Sand and Gravel is hiring for a variety of positions at their sand and gravel plants near Ashland. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Available positions include plant operators, dredge operators, and shop service technicians. They offer great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, paid holidays, and paid time off. No matter your experience level, on-the-job training is available to help you build a rewarding career with Western Sand and Gravel. Start your career today. Visit westernsand.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
All right, welcome to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock in the Blackshirt here on the clock right now. We are here from your 1 to 3 hour, and Bock, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of Big 12 media day yesterday. Coaches saying this, coaches saying that. They got another prediction for the Big 12 championship game. You're going to be surprised because it's two different ones. It's the media and then it's the coaches. So we'll go through that with you today. We'll talk a little bit Nebraska football. We'll talk about one of the weirdest 2-year contracts I ever seen in the NBA, Bock. But we'll talk about that later on here. How's your day, Bock?
Oh, it's not so bad. Of course, we get a little break from the sun today. It's a little bit nicer outside, so I appreciate that. Just got to talk with Adam Carricker and Kenny Wilhite. And, of course, you got your Carricker Chronicles football camp. I was just thinking the other day, it's cool. You're probably more used to hanging around with all these guys. But the other day, I was around Steve Taylor and Eric Crouch, Ramon Green, Adam Carricker, and the normal group of guys I'm around here.
Zach Weger, did you see him?
Zach Weger, yeah.
I went over there and talked to Zach. He was sweating.
Was he?
Hard. It was hot for the big guy out there. And it was good to see him out there trying to help the guys, the linemen, out and try to, Adam had a great camp.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, when you 259 kids, it can only get bigger and better. I did also tell them next year I help them. So, I like things like that, especially when it comes to try to give back to the kids here in Lincoln, because they don't know the old Nebraska, and to see some of the old guys out there and trying to put the winning spirit into them, or even trying to coach them up, is a good thing here in the city of Lincoln.
Yeah, it was, and like I said, I mean, there was like Husker royalty out there, and so I thought that was kind of funny. As I was walking away, it was near the end of the camp, and so the dads are probably just as excited as the kids are, because of they grew up watching those guys.
It seems like no parent went to work yesterday.
Yeah,
because too many of them was too busy out there watching their kid and watching how they was coached on a professional level. I mean, you have to give it up to people like Kenny Wilhite, and like Eric Crouch and especially Adam for throwing this thing, especially Lincoln Youth Football for dedicating the fields and helping these little kids reach their dream of being coached by a Husker star. So, it's a great thing to do, and we need to do more of this out here in the community.
Well, and two, I just think it's a good, reminder for some of these young folks. And obviously this was kindergarten through 8th grade. So what they've seen of Husker football is just the last 5 years or so. So, it helps out, because I heard a specific dad saying, well, did you enjoy the Outland Trophy coach winner? Did you enjoy the Heisman Trophy winner? Did you enjoy the first round draft pick? Did you enjoy, the 2-time national champ, all this sort of stuff and going through it? And if you're a kid and you've been watching Husker football, it's like, where is any of this? Where's all these major award winners coming from? And it just reminds you of where Nebraska can get to, which, not to get too far into the Scott Frost discussion from yesterday. But one thing that people were a little bit offended of was when him saying, if he was going to leave, was to go someplace he could win a national championship. One, of course, like you said, you're done with it. We don't want to get too further into it. National championship or not, you try to win 7-8 games or 9 games to kind of get there. He was never able to get to that. So I think that was kind of a silly statement. But the other thing is, I still believe this is a place you can win a national championship. Why? Because I've seen it. Now, as we get older and some of the, hopefully, the decades pass, hopefully we can kind of get back into that level so people can start to believe it again. Because I think there's, as you talk through the years, people will tell you, well, it's different in college football today. Nebraska's not, it doesn't get the TV network edge that they used to. And so there's all these different reasons why Nebraska can't win a national championship. And I go back to a discussion I had with DP. What's been missing is coaching. If you had Tom Osborne, or the equivalent to Tom Osborne, a top 5 coach of all time, that's a lot to ask for, but that's it. That's what it was. Then Nebraska would be right in those discussions. I think they can be in those discussions again if you get the right coach in charge. And I think, we'll see with Matt Rule. This is year 3, the big jump start to see if they can do it. I got to pose that question to you. You think Nebraska, despite all the challenges that are going to be against it, might not be your top destination as far as who is set up best to win a national championship, but do you think Nebraska in the modern age could still win a national championship?
I mean, the way college football is set up right now, everybody's a contender. I mean, especially with the NIL and revenue sharing. Kids get to pick and choose where they really want to go, and you can offer them so much or so little that's probably how some of the kids make their choices. Now, can Nebraska ever win a national champion again? Yes. Will it come in the next 5 years? I think so, if we keep the right path we're going. No setbacks. That means coaching staff. That means kids not leaving. That means believing in this program. Matt Rule's doing an excellent job. He's probably missing still a couple of pieces, but you have enough to compete with. Now, can you compete with the top dogs every weekend and week out? No, you can't, because I don't think we're built like that yet. But I think we're in the process of trying to be a top 15 team, because as we know, playoffs will go to 14 next year. So you understand that even if we make it at number 14 next year, I'm happy for that. Now we have to take this 1 year at a time. We have to concentrate on this year instead of worrying about everybody want to post about the 10-2 record. 10-2 sounds great. Sounds good, and because it's preseason right now.
Yeah,
everything
great
sounds
on
good.
paper.
Now, come the end of January or December, that's when realization hits you, and we're not as good as we thought we was. But like I said, it's a long fight. 9-3 sounds good. 10-2 sounds great, but you got to go out there and play the game of football. You got to go out there and always think dominate and never have that fear in the back of your mind that this team can beat you, because when you have that fear, now you play a certain way. And when you play a certain way, you kind of make mistakes. So all the uptightness before the game, we need to learn to get the butterflies out early instead of later in the game, and just play your game. I mean, we have a better coaching staff intact, and that's probably 2 thumbs up right there for Coach Rule. You know, being able to get not saying bad coaches, but upgrade your coaching staff to teach these kids better and to develop these kids better.
Well, it's interesting because adversity is definitely going to hit at some point. There's a lot to take away from what you said as you're going through it. I was thinking of different things, but I kind of go back to this. And again, shout out to Chris Kolarovich. He's got a show at 6:00 on Sundays. And he was talking about how he's been on teams where when adversity hits, it kind of unites them and they come together and they can make the better of it. And he's been on teams where adversity hits and it tears them apart and they can never achieve the goals that was probably potentially there for them. So let me ask you, because I don't know, throughout your career, when adversity strikes, is it a team bond? Is it a coaching staff? I mean, what is it about adversity hitting that's going to keep a team together as opposed to dividing it?
Well, we went through that in '95 with the LP and Scott thing, and it kind of divided the team for a minute because so many stories was coming in so many different directions. But I think Coach Osborne was able to calm everybody in the room and said, hey, we still have a season to play. We knew that Lawrence was in. We just knew that we still had great running backs. We still knew LP was coming back. We just needed some guys to step up. And Clinton stepped up, Damian stepped up, and then Amon stepped up. Then when Amon was able to fill that gap, I think that let us know that we was okay. I mean, you still have the talk of of people in town who's gonna talk anyway and try to tell us, hey, this, but you gotta focus that stuff out. You gotta maintain. You gotta like I say, the thing I want to see about this Nebraska team, I want to see their buddy system. How's y'all buddies? I mean, how's the linebacker room? Are y'all together or are y'all apart? Is there an I or is there a team? So, I like to see, like I said, when I played with some guys, I played with some guys who helped me. A lot of guys who helped me. I mean, I didn't see anybody who didn't want to help me. So it let me know that these guys was teammates. They helped me line up. They helped me, focus on things. They helped me get lined up before the play. Just things like that. How's the buddy system going? How's the linebacker room? Do all you guys get along? Do you get along with the defensive linemen? Do you get along with the defensive backs? Do you get along with the linemen? So this team has to come together and let no one break this bond. And Matt Rule has to keep it together just by reminding players, hey, let's do this right. Let's do this the right way. Let's do this the right way. This is more than just football. This is off the field too. So, it comes, it's a package deal. So, Coach Osborne said, I love you guys in the daytime, but I worry about y'all at night. So, but, and that's the thing you have to worry about, that getting that phone call late at night is devastating to a coach, but you still have to bring that team back together and make them realize that one person can't stop the show.
Yeah. Well, and I suppose as we're getting this far into July, it should probably be noted that Nebraska doesn't have many of that stuff popping up now. Knock on the all that. But there's been years past where you've got guys, some stories popping up, maybe some guys that look like they're not going to be, definitely questions asked about them in Big Ten media days, and then maybe a suspension for game one or whatever it might be. Thus far, I haven't seen really anything popping up for Nebraska roster-wise that way. So that's good news for Nebraska. And like we were saying, it's just kind of interesting. I like how you kind of phrased it these days, getting back to Nebraska and being championship contenders. Of course, Nebraska's in the building stage, not where you were, which was, when you arrived to Nebraska was championship contenders. But to not be too far from that, like when you ask if Nebraska can win a championship and get in college football after watching these last 10 years, you might say no, but it would take one 10-2 season, as we're talking about, which again, easier on paper. I don't know if that's this year or not, but to get you kind of back into belief, because after all, It was a 10-2 team that won the championship last year in Ohio State that lost to Oregon and Michigan. Now, of course, Ohio State's going to be, as we've seen every time the playoffs expand, Ohio State wins a championship. They're going to be a team that year in and year out is in that championship contenders discussion, already being there where they go 12-0, 10-2 in the regular season. Nebraska hopefully can kind of get back to that and build something that for year in and year out. And I feel bad. I mean, I really do. I mean, you wonder what the city of Lincoln even would look like with success over, the last 20 years or whatever. And I hate grouping in Bo Pelini's years into that because they did have success. But compared to what it looks like now and what it could project to look like if Nebraska does well, and I specifically, Husker fans, we talk about passing the baton, to the younger generation. I still was able to grow up in a time where I expected a top 5 team, where I expected my team to win, every game and compete for that national championship. And just that feeling of following your team is significantly better than what we've seen. And hopefully if you're a Nebraska fan, I always kind of go with my own pro sports team comparisons because you can kind of get that from your different teams that you follow outside of Nebraska sports, where for me, it's like, there's a complete difference between my Boston Celtics that I follow in the NBA and the Arizona Cardinals that I follow in the NFL. One organization is run really well, championship contender every year. The other one is, kind of where Nebraska's been, where it's tough, going back 20 years now, a little less than that Arizona made the Super Bowl, but generally one of the worst run for organizations in the NFL. We don't want to see Nebraska in that category, and they have been. So it's time to dig our hole out of that.
Well, I think it's due to swagger, and when I say swagger, I mean that confidence level. I mean, I seen that when I was at the Big 12, Big 10 Media Day probably 2 years ago, and to see how those guys walk with confidence, and and that's partly the nature of football, is having that confidence, and when we talk about Nebraska, and we got other teams that have pressure on them. So, it's just not pressure from us. It's pressure from everybody else in college football that's feeling this. I mean, Matt Rule is feeling it just like Luke Fickell's feeling it, like other coaches are feeling it. So, and while we're on this conversation, Bob, we're going to keep this going probably to the next segment. College football teams with the most pressure in 25. And we could go through each Big 10, Big 12, SEC, ACC, but when we start off with the Big 10, the team with the most pressure to me is Nebraska. I mean, and when I say that, I mean Joe Clack. You hear he loves Nebraska. I don't know why he's so up in Nebraska's like that, but this is a guy who's been talking about Nebraska for the last 4 months.
Yeah.
The pressure is, can we get over that hump? The pressure is Matt Rule's 3rd year. I think that's one of the things we have to watch out for, is that what we expect and what realization is going to be when football starts. Yeah, Matt Rule, 3rd year at every school, every stop he's went to has been a significant jump. Now, I don't know about when you say every 3rd year at every school, but this is a hard year right here. And when I say that, not schedule-wise, because you want to beat the Michigans, you want to beat the Ohio States, you want to beat Minnesota, you want to beat Iowa. And that's 4 games I just named right there, Bock. That's a 50-50 game. You throw in USC, 50-50. So you're not giving anything probably except Akron.
Yeah.
Houston Christian.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Cincinnati.
Absolutely not.
Please don't, because you're going to have a long ride home from Kansas City if you do. and that's probably it when I say that, about just watch the games you play and play them with everything you have to play. And Penn State, same boat as Nebraska with pressure. I don't care if you make it to the playoffs. Penn State needs to win one.
Yeah.
James Franklin has to get, I mean, not saying he has to, but
this is the year. This is the opportunity.
This is probably one of your second most talented team right here besides last year. Can you get over that hump? Can you beat Ohio State? Can you beat Michigan? Can you win the Big 10? Can you win the national championship? Other teams, Michigan, they got to get over the hump.
Yeah.
Bad season last year. That was Jim Harbaugh. This is Shamar Moore. He's got to miss 2 games. So he misses he chooses Nebraska. I don't think it's an insult. I think it's a slap in the face.
Yeah.
I think it's bullet board material if they know how to use it in a context. You're gonna wish you did have your coach this game. That's what they're gonna say.
Not the one you should be picking.
Yeah, this is not the game to be picking with what Joe Clack said, a sleeping giant. If they're woke.
Yeah.
If you're not woke, you're just a midget. Another team, Illinois. Brett Beamer got to get over that hump. He's on the crisp of having something great over there at Illinois.
Yeah.
If you like it or not. I mean, we could have beat them last year, plain and simple. But the way they're coming up, Wisconsin. Luke Fickell. Hot seat. Very hot.
Without a doubt.
Luke Fickell's on a seat that's like a slide when it's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's burn your butt
out
hot.
in the park. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to watch out for things like that. I mean, I could go on about other teams. I mean, one team I do not want us to sleep on that's got our number, Minnesota. Minnesota's not a given game. They got a good DB crew back there. They got a freshman All-American back there who's also a return guy who's probably the next, what'd you say, Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
White vanilla, white corn, what they call him?
Yeah, white chocolate.
White chocolate. Yeah. I mean, you no game is given in the Big Ten. This is, and I played in the Big Eight. It's different when you got like 18 teams in the Big Ten. Yeah, it's hard. It's just like the SEC, day in and day out. You got to go out and play the game.
Yeah, I mean, if I think about the toughest spots, and you kind of went over them. I think Lincoln Riley certainly's got to be in that boat as
USC.
well. USC is a big deal. Yeah.
I left him out, but I was going to get back to him.
Yeah.
Hot seat.
Yeah.
Hot seat. He's in the heart of California. He's up there with the rich people. They don't want to see your team like this. He's a USC Trojan. You know, Matt Lyon, Pete Carroll. How you think that Reggie Bush? You let him have another losing season. He won't be there.
Yeah. So I think they've got some of the most pressure on it. I think Nebraska is definitely, with the preseason expectations, can kind of fit in there. But you mentioned, I mean, there's just all sorts of expectations for some of these teams. I think Luke Fickell, with the amount of pressure on them, because remember, Wisconsin didn't just, I mean, they're kind of going through an identity crisis. They went through that up-tempo spread offense. Now they're kind of going away with it, but going back to a run because the running game was terrible for Wisconsin standards. And so, but the point is, they didn't just lose 7 games last year. I think 6 of those 7s were by double digits. I mean, Wisconsin was in a bad way for a program that hadn't had a losing season for like 25 years or whatever it was. So, that's, I would say that's probably the most pressure. But again, there's different levels of pressure, right? Or different ways of looking at it. Nationally, that Penn State, James Franklin, you just mentioned, this is the time to strike. This is your opportunity. They're preseason picked by a lot of people. They did this. They kind of had this big deal of bringing back Drew Aller and Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen and just convincing everybody to stay as much as they could. And so the opportunity's here. And it's just gonna feel, if it doesn't happen now, will it ever happen under James Franklin? Now they did breakthrough, won the Big Ten in 2016. So maybe you can kind of go back to that. But for since then, and it's not the worst place to be in the world, but they've been stuck on those 10 wins, but not beating Ohio State and Michigan. Now Oregon jumps in, maybe to take Michigan's spot. There's always going to be those top teams in the Big Ten. Can Penn State get over? I'd put them near the top, but his job's not on the line, so that's why I'd probably go.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be the 3rd best team in the Big Ten, because I still have to put you behind Oregon. I don't care how far you went. Oregon is probably the number 2 team in the Big Ten, if not tied for number 1.
Well, they won the Big Ten last year. Ohio State won the national championship. Yeah.
So you got to understand that part. When we come back, Bob, we're gonna go to break right now. When we come back, we're gonna name some other teams that's have pressure in 25 right here in college football. Not college football 26, Bob. We talk about the real college football, NCAA. Right. All right, Bock in the Black Shirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on The Ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, partly sunny, breezy, and hot with a high around 98. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, below around 71. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day. An afternoon high around 90. Meteorologist Kyle Bock for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Western Sand and Gravel is hiring for a variety of positions at their sand and gravel plants near Ashland. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Available positions include plant operators, dredge operators, and shop service technicians. They offer great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, paid holidays, and paid time off. No matter your experience level, on-the-job training is available to help you build a rewarding career with Western Sand and Gravel. Start your career today. Visit westernsand.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Play ball!
Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their chicken fingers always fill my tank. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. One love.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Gannett Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are powered
By
Power,
infrastructure,
Power,
underground,
Brad.
excavating.
Now, Bock, we was talking about teams with the most pressure in 25 from the Big Ten. Any more schools you think you want to add to that list? So far, we have Penn State, Nebraska, Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin. What else school you said? You said another one.
Well, I'd also throw UCLA in there.
UCLA. Oh yeah, they
Because I
should.
think,
They should have been top of the list. I did miss that one.
Yeah, Deshaun Foster, I still think is kind of prove himself as a head coach. Obviously, getting Nico Iamaleava will be. I mean, everybody's going to have their eyes on that situation. So, and I'm fascinated by UCLA. Obviously, that loss for Nebraska last year kind of started the change at offensive coordinator to bring Dana Holgorsen in, obviously to move Satterfield, move him down, I suppose, in the coaching lineup. But that UCLA team did beat Iowa the next week, as Adam Carricker was pointing out earlier. So you wonder how much better they were getting compared to, the beginning of the season for that. As I always remind people, though, UCLA, it was kind of a disappointing season last year in that they had been pretty good under Chip Kelly. We've not kind of stuck at that 8-9 wins or whatever, and they were expecting more, so they're kind of getting frustrated. But that's why last year's initial run for Deshaun Foster wasn't all that great. I think they finished 5-7, and so we'll see. I mean, they're going to have to do better than that. The expectation is not probably slowly get better, maybe like it is at Nebraska. It might be just get to that 8-9 win seasons right away after the 5-1 campaign last year.
Now we go to the SEC. Teams with the most pressure. Always Arkansas. Sam Pittman. He's been on the hot seat for 3 years.
Yes.
Alabama.
Yeah. That
Definitely on the hot
one.
seat.
I think that's number one.
Definitely has pressure because that's not the Alabama we seen last year. We see the Alabama of old coming back, the great recruiting. Now you have to have great coaching on the field. You have to beat the Georgias. You have to beat the Texas. You have to go out here and show everybody that last year just was I don't know if we can call it a coaching changes method, but even the players had no discipline out there. Some of them didn't. We seen most of the Nick Saban teams we seen, they didn't have those antics on the sideline or during the game. So, that's some things that he has to clean up over there.
Well, yeah, and Kalen DeBoer, I mean, he turned around Washington so quickly, and it was in a bad spot before he got there. That was the expectation, was that you could just pick up and get it running at Alabama. That could be difficult to do, as we've seen over time. But I mean, I don't feel too bad for him. Inheriting Alabama, Nick Saban's Alabama can't be the worst thing in the world, but the expectation is sky high. And so you look at those losses last year. Vanderbilt. I mean, some of these were just jaw dropping to them at the time. I think you could probably compare it to 1998 Nebraska pretty well, to where they went 9-4, and generally you'd say, okay, that's fine, and that's kind of what Alabama did last year. But coming from where they did, from where they were before, it was shocking.
Yeah. All right. LSU.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got to talk LSU, definitely.
LSU. Yeah. Too many good recruits, Bob. LSU did snag the number one player in the nation this morning when he committed to them. I think he's an edge rusher. Brian Kelly couldn't get it done at Notre Dame. I think their coach, Marcus Freeman, he took it to a different level. He made it to the championship game. But when you talk about Brian Kelly, he's at a school that doesn't like to lose, especially when that crowd started chanting in the third quarter. But he has a talented team over there. He got probably the second best quarterback in college football. You return a lot of guys. You have one of the guys, Jabari Butler, that ain't he at LSU?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, you got him there. So, we gotta watch to see how this team does, Bock. I do think that if he can't have a good year this year, he'll be on the hot seat, or if not, he'll be fired.
Yeah, I mean, and they were kind of, if you remember last year, they lost to USC out of the gate. We were kind of trying to figure out what that meant, which team was good, but then they rallied off and started to get things going back on the right path. I think they're 6-1 at one point after that, but then came the stretch of losses again. Lost 3 in a row to Texas A&M, Alabama, and Florida. In that Alabama game, particularly 42-13, and we just talked about how Alabama wasn't the same Bama of old, but on that day they were. Now they finished up, they did beat Vanderbilt and LSU, won their bowl game against Baylor, but that 9-4 now for Brian Kelly last season after 2 10-4 campaigns, excuse me, a 10-4 and a 10-3 previously. 29-11 in 3 years. Usually that's pretty darn good. At LSU, they want to eat more, so we'll see. They might come into the season top 5. And I wouldn't quite say he didn't get it done at Notre Dame. He was the all-time winningest coach there, but obviously didn't win the national championship. And now Freeman has got them just as close at Notre Dame as Kelly ever did, which is runner-up. But I just expected when Kelly went over there, I expected the world out of him. You could see immediately, he didn't quite fit in with the culture. And so maybe that's kind of been ironed out a little bit. But yeah, big year in Baton Rouge. Arguably right up there with Alabama with the amount of pressure that's on Kalen DeBoer. There's this probably similar with Brian Kelly.
All right, Florida. Disappointing year last year. Has the I gotta feel bad for Florida. Really, because it's the schedule makers. They're the ones who's sticking a dagger in Billy Napier when you go back to back seasons or schedules like they had, Bob. I mean, yeah, they got a talented freshman, DJ Lagway, but how far can he take him by himself? I mean, you got a talented team, you're getting recruits, but when you have those schedules like, oh, we're gonna play Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, Miami, Florida State back to back to back, and Texas A&M and Texas and Tennessee. Where's the Vanderbilts, the Mississippi States, the Kentuckys for these guys, so they can make themselves feel good. But when you talk about Florida, you got to talk about the schedule more than anything.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough again. They've got some talent to work with down in Florida. Probably have the top center in the nation. Like you said, snapping it back to DJ Lagway there. So I mean, there's some stuff to work with, but this is the 4th year under Billy Napier, and they've yet to post a better than 500 record in the SEC. Finally did get a better than 500 record overall. Billy Napier 6-7, 5-7, and now 8-5 at Florida. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a similar thing, and maybe an 8-4 season again with this schedule could be still seen as a not enough to get rid of him. But anything less than that, and they're going to start chomping down there at Florida, because I was kind of thinking about Florida too. It's a place that, when we had divisions, would routinely fire guys that won the SEC East if they weren't able to win the SEC. As soon as the sign of any sort of problem there. So that is incredible. And then you look at that Florida situation, and it's mirrored by Oklahoma. Kind of a same type of deal there, where Brett Venables has struggled to get things going there at Oklahoma. 2 of his 3 seasons now, 6-7. First year in the SEC, 2-6 against the SEC competition. Did beat Alabama again. So it's a little bit of okay, well, here's a highlight. Here's at least something that's going on there. But Venables so far in his tenure at Oklahoma, 12-14 in conference play.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah.
All right, Bock. Vanderbilt. You let your quarterback stick his foot in his mouth.
You need him to, at least.
Well, you let him talk. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're not better than what they was last year, 7-6, no room to talk.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, Vanderbilt's interesting. I think there's a lot of local pressure down there. They are talking. I wouldn't compare that to some of the pressures that we've talked about, just because of Florida, program expectations at a place like
I just
Florida,
threw that one in there,
Oklahoma, LSU, and Alabama. But you're not wrong though, in that it's kind of like the Illinois situation. And it's kind of fun to go from from conference to conference and kind of do this. Obviously Illinois had a much better season than Vanderbilt did, but their program standards is a little bit better. But it's just, is it sustainable? Was this a one-year wonder, or is it just kind of going back to being the same old Vanderbilt that is, kind of the bottom getting kicked on at the bottom of the SEC? Or are they really going to stand up? Their quarterback, like you said, got that extra year of eligibility. He's talking about beating Alabama again. He's talking about taking over the state of Tennessee. A lot of words going on down there. Let's see if they can back it up on the field. So there is, that wouldn't be the top of my pressure cooker situations for Clark Lee there, but it is as far as sustainability.
Big 12. Texas Tech.
Yeah.
You know why I put them on that list, Bob?
Spending a lot of money.
You're spending a lot of money. If you get average play from spending that much money, Joey McGuire can't afford to go 7-6, Bob. Not with spending that much money during the offseason. You can't. I mean, he can, but in the football world, in the eyes of us, that's failure. Especially all the money you gave away.
Yeah, and also not returning an awful team. I mean, they weren't necessarily the best in the Big 10, or excuse me, the Big 12 last year, but they should be, as we kind of look at them now. You see a lot of prognostications having Texas Tech, in the top 25 or right there, coming off an 8-5 season. Can they take that next step? I agree. I mean, the Big 12 is so interesting because you think of it as somewhat of a less of a pressure cooker, because we just went through like the SEC, those big name programs that are going to have high expectations. As we saw last year with the Big 12, it was kind of anybody's ball game. The teams that were picked to do the best in the league finished, last. The teams that were finished last finished on the top. So yeah, I mean, you've got some pressure as far as hot seat and stuff like that, but it's not the overbearing program should be at the top type of stuff. But Texas Tech kind of enters into that discussion because they are the big spender in the NIL era. So very interesting to see there. And I'm interested to see the other names they have in there, because I'll throw some in as well. If you don't
throw some in.
Well, I think Oklahoma State, definitely. Mike Gundy, after years and years and years and years and years and years, I can keep going, of sustainable, good football, things fell apart completely last year. And do they have what it takes? I mean, they didn't take a quarterback with them to Big 12 media days. We know Zane Flores, the Gretna, high school prep player here in Nebraska, is going to be involved there. But they, again, went from kind of first to last year as far as the expectations of where they would be.
3-9.
And now I'm seeing them. Yeah, I'm seeing them still as I'm looking through, picked at the bottom of the Big 12 now. And so a lot of pressure on Gundy to probably kind of at least get back to 500 if he's going to want to stick around.
All right, what other Big 12 team you got?
Well,
I wouldn't say I can't put Colorado in this conversation.
You wouldn't?
I can't, because you lose the Heisman winner.
Yeah.
You lose Shador. I mean, that's 80% of your offense right there. I mean, when you look at it, it's going to take 2 quarterbacks to fill Shador's shoes. It's going to take 5 to fill Travis Hunter's shoes at receiver.
Well, I would put it. I think there's a lot of pressure on Coach Dion in Colorado to show that it's not just those 2 players, right? And that it is a sustainable program. I mean, how many people were predicting left and right, he's going to leave when those guys leave, he's going to get a different job? Well, they're off to the NFL and he's still in Boulder. And so the question is, how good of a coaching job has it been in Boulder as compared to the star power that he was able to bring, obviously, with his son and Travis Hunter, doing a lot of the heavy lifting there. So I think there's a huge amount of pressure in Colorado. I'd have to put him in there.
All right. That's all you got for the Big 12?
The only other one that I would consider similar to Oklahoma State, where it didn't get as bad last year for Utah, but that's a really good program under Kyle Whittingham.
They got to rebound this year,
and they've got a little bit of pressure, I think, to rebound there. Otherwise, you might think if they don't do well again, you might think, is Whittingham finally kind of getting to that point in his career?
All right, Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll have a little bit more of the count of who has the most pressure to win at 25 when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, When doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their chicken fingers always fill my tank. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. One love.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
We are back with Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket, and we are ready to talk some more football. All right, Bock, college football teams with the most pressure to win in 25. And when I said this, I said, name your own team, Bock, when I said this. And now we're going to go to the ACC. And for me, Florida State, Tony White, Norvell has to win. 2-9 last year?
Yeah, 2-10.
2-10 after going, 10-1 to 10-2 the year before. Got snubbed out of the playoffs for a good reason. I see why now, but a lot of pressure on Florida State, man.
Yeah, I think they definitely stand out in this conference with the most pressure on them as I kind of look through it. I mean, there's some other schools there we've talked about before, kind of the expectations from schools raining down. And obviously, the Big 12 and the SEC is kind of taking a lot of those blue bloods or whatever, that the pressure is just inherently going to be in there. And so you think about when you get to the ACC, there are still a few, and I know we'll get to some of those other names. Miami, Clemson aren't going to factor in there, but Florida State, and the question is, how good is good enough? Coming from just the complete opposite type of seasons. 2 years ago, you're one of the best in the country. Last year, you're one of the worst teams in the country. Is middling out? Is getting the 6-6 good for Mike Norvell? Obviously at Florida State, I don't know if they want those small strides made, and they've got guys talking. They got Thomas Castellanos, as we know, James Williams, our buddy, the Sackmaster here from Nebraska. These guys are not short of confidence. So, I mean, I got to believe they're expecting a lot more than a 6-win year for Florida State. But would that be enough to save his job? We'll have to kind of wait and see. As usual, probably context and what it looks like.
All right, Bob, my next school, Clemson. You know why I got them on there?
Why is that?
They got a hellified schedule. That's probably one reason why. But Dabo, you're probably got the best unit of football players right now. DBs, linebackers, D-line, quarterback. You start the season off against LSU. We don't know where that's going to go. Then you go to then a week later you play Georgia Tech. Then you play a Syracuse team. Then you play a North Carolina team. You have SMU on your schedule this year. Florida State, Louisville, and South Carolina. I see Clemson losing 2 to 3 games, Bob.
Wow. That's interesting because there's a lot of people that have them as a top 5 team and expect them to compete nationally. And that's why I think the pressure to them is almost similar to kind of Penn State, where it's like, okay, you've been right there. Obviously, the last couple of seasons, maybe not quite to where you would want to be, but still were able to make the college football playoffs. So maybe that route will still be there through the ACC. You can stumble a few times, as you were saying, with their schedule kind of being there and still get into the college football playoffs. So I think it's a little bit different in Penn State, right? They don't have that hump to get over. They are coming off winning the ACC and that sort of thing. But for them, it's really about, can they contend in the ACC against these SEC and Big Ten teams that have been running the sport outside of them? Can they get back to where they were previously? And obviously, they've been fighting the uphill battle of not including the transfer portal Dabo Swinney has kind of come down from that. But this is the year similar to Penn State in that they've got the roster. This is the year to strike with the roster they've got going.
All right, circle this on your map, Bock. October 18th, SMU comes to town. I'm going with SMU. I rode with them last year, Bock, and I'm going to ride with them again this year, Bock.
Yeah, I don't mind that pick. We'll see about them. I think another team that kind of sticks out to me might be Virginia Tech, just because they should be, or at least one time were, a team that was kind of in this conversation of year in and year out playing in the pack, being good enough to win the ACC. They're now in year 4 of Brent Key, and he's 16-21 there, 6-7 last year. I think at some point they've got to take this step up. He kind of stands out to me more than anybody as on the pressure seat there in the ACC. Now Georgia Tech's kind of interesting too, because I think they've got their own inherent pressure. I wouldn't put them on this list, but they got one of the top quarterbacks and running backs in the nation. So that you want to see if they are able to build on their 7-6 campaign from last year. But then how about this pressure from the conference? The all-time maybe greatest coach in the NFL history is there in Chapel Hill. I'm interested to see what kind of pressure there is there. I mean, how do fans react regardless of what his record is going to be? Obviously, it's going to be different if he does well. We're all going to go crazy. But 7-8 wins. I mean, anybody beating, this is year 1. This might be the year to get him, right? But anybody beating Bill Belichick in Carolina Blue, that's going to be something, kind of a feather in their cap.
My thing with him is I want to see how well he adapts to college football coaching. That's my only concern about him. I know the talent he puts on the field is going to be great because he handpicked his own quarterback. So, it's not like he got a transfer. He got a freshman that's coming in also that he likes. But, another team for me, Bock, Miami. The late meltdown last year. Playoff team all the way, Bock, until those last couple of games. I think they lost to, who was that? Was it Syracuse?
Let me see their losses late in the last season. Yeah, Syracuse. And then they lost the Pop-Tarts Bowl that Cam Ward played a half a game in. But they lost, down the stretch. Their last 3 games in the ACC, they lost at Georgia Tech. They beat Wake Forest, then lost at Syracuse.
Yeah, that's a sad one right there.
Yeah, it was sad kind of how it broke down there. But there's going to be pressure on Cristobal, especially, can you win without Cam Ward? And Harrison Beck steps in as their top, or Carson Beck, excuse me, steps in, going back to Harrison Beck. Carson Beck steps in as their quarterback answer from the transfer portal, which a lot of teams are doing. As I was breaking down some of the teams earlier, and we'll break down Wisconsin later in our Big Ten preview. They're on their 3rd transfer quarterback in 3 straight years. So this is something a lot of teams are just kind of falling into.
All right, Notre Dame.
Yep.
Who else? Let's see. Sounds like Ohio State.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's true. Yeah, Ohio State's been.
All right, Oregon.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk some way too early NFL mock draft, and we got some top 5 for you. And then after that, when we come back for the second segment, Bock in the Bock 101 here at 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln, Cordell & Cordell, 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68508.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hi, folks. The weather is for sure heating up, and Coppell Chevrolet GMC is following suit. The discounts are really as good as they've ever been. $14,500 off list price, or 0% financing on select new models. Folks, you heard that right. Smoking hot deals at Coppell. $14,500 off list price, or 0% APR. So take that short drive down 144th Street or at CoppellCars.com. STK number G269520. All deals with trade-in and approved credit.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome back to Bock and the Black Shirt here on 93.7 The Ticket, and we got more football news for you. After this segment, we have Bock favorite, I call it Bock 101, where we give you the team's fight song. And I think next week we're going to have a theme where we do every 136 team fight song that's in FB, what they call it, FBS?
Yeah.
And we might do some power, some G6s or something like that.
Gremlin's band in there.
We're going to throw Gremlin band in there. All right, Bock. Mike on the text line said, I like Matt Rule. He's doing a great job. 8 wins would be tough. I guess 7-5. I don't know how the people would feel about 7-5, but, we want to get over that hump and try to get to 10-2.
Yeah, even 9 wins. Yeah.
All right, my man Gus Mohawk says, this thing is slow today. You got it up there?
Yeah, I can pull up Gus Mohawk. He said, will Scott Frost have a better record his first year back at UCF than at Nebraska? Are you rooting for him?
Well, I'm not going to be that. I'm always going to root for anybody in life. That's, people I don't like. I don't wish terrible things for people. I think I'm not going to say we over exaggerated about Scott Frost's situation and what he said about Nebraska. I know that we have to get over this as a fan base, and we can't worry about him. Our job is to cheer Matt Rule on and to cheer these young men on that we got. Yeah,
if you look at them last year too, they went 4-8 down the stretch. So they lost 7 of the last 8 games after winning their first 3. And so, I mean, it just kind of got out of hand. Now, they weren't like uncompetitive in many of those games. In fact, they took Arizona State down to the wire, only lost 35-31 there. And we'll see. They bring in Tavian Jackson, who started 5 games as redshirt freshman at Indiana a couple years ago. But they just have a long way to go, and obviously a new coaching staff. They were one of the top rushing teams last year. We'll see if they can kind of continue that. And again, coming off a 4-8 season, you look at their schedule. They should have some wins lined up with Jacksonville State, North Carolina A&T. We're all waiting for that game against North Carolina, September 20th, Frost versus Belichick. But the Big 12 is just, it might not be top heavy, but it's loaded from week to week. Because then he goes at Kansas State, Kansas at home, at Cincinnati, West Virginia, at Baylor, Houston at Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and at BYU. I know they're going to be expecting a little bit more. I think it went 4-8 his first year here at Nebraska. I probably think it's going to be about that same type of story here at UCF.
Well, and another question, he said, are you rooting for him? Hell no, Gus Mohawk. I'm not. Not after those little comments he made about my school. I love Nebraska, and I would almost tear down a wall for Nebraska like I did back in the days. But I'm not cheering for him. Another one by Gus Mohawk. Which powerhouse will have a better year? Big Ten Michigan or SEC Alabama? That's a good one, Bob. I'm going with Alabama. Just what they got returning. If you've seen their DB crew, Bock, Alabama might have a special year. Can they beat Georgia? I don't know. Can they beat the rest of the teams in the SEC? Probably can, besides Georgia and I say Texas. That's probably their biggest 2 competitors. But, this is a very, very good Alabama team that's coming back. And like we said, coaching.
Yeah.
Coaching is the only weak. Now, I wouldn't say the weak spot, but coaching has to get better with these young men.
Yeah, kind of a question mark there. I don't know. I mean, Michigan, again, didn't have the season they wanted to with just 8 wins total, but they finished off by beating Ohio State and Alabama. I don't know how much gets better than that. And obviously, if you're comparing Michigan and Alabama moving forward, it would be nice to say, well, the team that won, of course, Michigan. But I have to agree with you. I think Alabama right now feels like a safer bet, a better bet than Michigan to get it going. But I mean, if Michigan can keep where it was and, kind of continue from where they were at the end of last season, they could be a surprise team. I know a lot of teams, a lot of people have them maybe top 15, maybe just outside of that. But they could move up if they can keep going. They've got, of course, as we all know, because of the head coach situation, you've got Oklahoma, out of the gate September 6th. So that will be a big one for both programs. And then you look at their schedule: Wisconsin at home, at USC. But it's really not a whole lot more difficult. Like Wisconsin wasn't even good last year. This is the name that usually gets there. Washington at home, at Michigan State. The schedule is somewhat favorable for Michigan, I think, to be able to make some noise.
Yeah.
If they can get past Nebraska, that'll be a big part of it.
Yeah, you're good about that one, Bock. All right, Bock. One thing came up to me the other day. I was today when I was reading, I was looking on my stat book and trying to figure out some stuff. But I came up under this thing, the way too early NFL mock draft for 27. And if you see the top 5 in this box, this makes probably the best top 5 I've probably ever seen in college football. You ready for it, Bob?
I'm ready for it.
Top 5 picks. Number 1, Arch Manning.
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
Number 2, Jeremiah Smith.
That's pretty darn good play right there.
Number 3, Ryan Williams.
Okay, yeah, Alabama.
Number 4, Dylan Raiola.
There we go. That's what I wanted to hear.
He's going number 4.
Okay.
Number 5, DJ Lagway. That's probably the best. That's a good draft class right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and you could, consider a few other guys that might be in that draft class. Lenora Sellers from South Carolina, even Sam Levitt from Arizona State. So that could be kind of interesting. Coy Parrish, who we talked about earlier with Minnesota, could be in that draft class. Jordan Seaton, the offensive tackle from Colorado. So there's a lot of good names in there, but to see that at least in some eyes that Dylan Raiola is still on that path, because that's kind of what a lot of people would have said with him coming into Nebraska, is eventually he could be a first-round draft pick. At least in this person's eyes, they didn't do anything in year 1 to lower that expectation.
Yeah, that's what I think, Bob. And it's good that, I mean, you also got to think about Elijah Pritchard, if he's coming out this year, or do he wait another year?
Yeah.
To it depends on the year you have. So Nebraska has a lot. I mean, you got to understand, Jacoby Barney, does he stay the whole 4 years, or do he leave his junior year? So, it's a lot going on. All right, Bock, your main man, PJ Fleck.
That's right. Row the boat.
Agrees to a contract extension till 2030. Last season, Bock, 8-5. Overall at Minnesota, 58-39. And Bock, guess what? He's 6-0 in bowl games.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
44-year-old head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. What two school? Well, he was at another school before that.
He was at Western Michigan. That's where he kind of made his name. Yeah.
That's where okay, yeah, I got you on that one, Bock.
Yeah, it's interesting. Minnesota, especially with PJ Fleck, still trying to get back to that 2019 season that they had. Remember when they went 11-2, and if they had the extended playoffs back then, probably would have made the playoffs. If you can believe the Golden Gophers in the playoffs. And in that year, they finished top 10 with a bowl victory. Like you said, he wins his bowl games, finished in the top 10. Since then, not as good, but still 2 9-win seasons and an 8-win season, including last year. It's kind of interesting because he's always got coordinators moving around, this and that. But especially where Minnesota had been before. I know he called, like everybody does with their schools, but living in the Twin Cities, especially Minnesota located there, I should say, he felt like they were a sleeping giant. I don't know if he's necessarily rattled or awakened that giant, but he has made them competitive enough to believe that they can move forward here, and in a way that Minnesota hasn't been for quite some time. So I think he's done a good job there. It's interesting because after a 6-7 season in 2023, there was some pressure and some talk early last year about, is he still the guy? Is this kind of the path that Minnesota should take moving forward? An 8-5 season definitely make you feel better about that. The other thing, though, is that team was so close to much more. They lost to North Carolina, Michigan, or North Carolina by 2, Michigan by 3. Rutgers was the slip up they were ultimately couldn't afford, was by 7, and then they lost to Penn State by 1. Remember, that one came down to the edge. So they were right there from really having a monstrous season. Didn't quite get it done, but still looks pretty good and won some of those trophy games. Of course, they've got several trophy games every year to try to get to. But remember, didn't beat USC, beat UCLA in their first year in the Big Ten. Won that bowl game against Virginia Tech. And like I said, maybe their best performance was taking Penn State to the 1 point, only losing by 1 there.
Yeah. All right, Bob, we're going to switch a little gears right here. Let's jump to the NBA because I know we have your one-on-one next, and we're going to give you a lot of time on that because I know you worked hard to get these what they call them, the
team preview,
the previews, and what kind of songs we call the intro songs?
The fight songs.
The fight song. So, Deion Booker, Bob, agrees to a 2-year, $145 million max extension. Bob, what is that? 7.25?
$72.5 million, per year for Devin Booker. Yeah, that's not a bad day.
Yeah, is that the highest extension that's probably ever been given?
Yes, it is. It actually surpasses Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had a $285 million supermax extension, carrying a $71.25 million average, which was at the time the most. Like we said, now Booker's 72.5 exceeds that. Which is interesting because he's also, when you look at Booker now, 10 years with the Suns, and this is his 3rd extension. So they've really, I know it's crazy, just kind of, again, getting older. It's crazy that Booker's been in the league that long, but that signed 3 extensions with one team in modern day NBA where your stars are being traded left and right, it seems like. Very impressive for Devin Booker and what the Suns do. Obviously, they didn't have what they wanted in bringing in KD and Bradley Beal, and of course broke up, Bridges and Ayton and Chris Paul and all those guys to get there. But you don't have to question, can a team led by Devin Booker get you to the finals? They were there.
Yeah.
So they just got to try to, build a team around him.
The thing I hate about this is that he took a back seat last year to Kevin Durant, and it kind of hurt his play, and he wasn't as efficient as he usually was, and he wasn't that shooter like he usually was. So that kind of hurt his play. But, and this other one, Jalen Williams, Oklahoma City Thunder, Buck, signed a 5-year, $287 million rookie contract extension.
Yeah, not a bad deal. Definitely take that if you're Jalen Williams. 3rd team All-NBA. Not a lot of people kind of recognize that. Obviously playing the Robin role as far as to Batman and Robin there for OKC. With SGA obviously being the Batman, but you don't win that championship without Jalen Williams.
You don't.
But it's interesting; they're kind of in this phase, and Boston did this too the previous year. When you win, ink everybody down, sign everybody that won the championship, get it all written in Sharpie so we can sign everybody up and feel good moving forward. And then eventually, there's going to come a time where you go, well, we have to probably come back on some of this money and find ways to cut people, and sometimes those big contracts. If you are not the primary player, can be the reason why you're shifted around a little bit. But Jalen Williams, still, I think SGA still, and then we talk about, is he a guy that is a household name? I think he became that this year. I think Jalen Williams, despite winning a championship and being the number 2 guy, still has a little bit of ways to go for that. So we'll see. This definitely helps. And either way, whether he's a household name or not, he can afford a few households with that contract.
So Oklahoma has signed 3 players this offseason so far.
Yeah, Chet Holmgren got his as well.
Yeah, they almost spent $1 billion, Bob, if you total that up.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. That's a lot of luxury tax money, too, if you don't watch it. DeAndre, what's his name? DeAndre Ayton, didn't he? What his name is? Did he used to play for?
His name, that's right.
He's going to the Lakers.
He is.
I like that move.
Well,
I like that move.
Yeah, I like it in that they needed a center. And he's a proven reliable center in the league.
Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off Luka.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's the move that's necessarily. It fills a need, but does it propel them into championship conversation, especially out there in the West? Probably not. And so the Lakers we'll see if they're still able kind of to move around. Is Austin Reeves a long-term fit? You want to get a different kind of third role in there, between Reeves and of course Luka and LeBron. All those guys are fantastic, but they're all pretty ball dominant in the way that they go about their business. So can you get somebody that's a little bit more complimentary? We'll see. And I would have more faith in Los Angeles taking that step. And that's been a big conversation too, is about LeBron. Is he playing for a title contender? If he's extending to play this season and the next, which there's been some talk about maybe his wife wanting him to retire here in the next couple of years. Is he going to do so on a championship contending team? The big move for Luka obviously would say that they're at least, in the conversation, but there's just a lot of talented teams out West. I don't know if Ayton kind of pushes them into, the 3 or 4 top contending teams.
All right. Joker declined to sign a contract extension to the end of 26, Bob.
That's interesting. I haven't read too much on that or necessarily see why. You're going to have to dive into that because I suppose it might make sense. I can look at it real quick here, but yeah, that's kind of surprising.
Maybe him and Luka teams up. Just imagine them on the same team.
It would be cool. I just don't know. I don't know. Luka's already part of one of the most shocking trades in NBA history. You need another one to get it.
Well, if he doesn't sign an extension, I mean, does the contract run out or what he's signed to?
I'd have to look what he's on as well. But yeah, I'm sure at some point the Jokic situation probably is about what would be better for signing his Supermax here. I'm trying to read it through and see why that would be the case. But yeah, I'll have to see that because I didn't see that till now.
Yeah. See, I'll be up on my basketball, Bob.
Yeah. A little ahead of me.
Yeah, man, you have to have a game with 2K26 when it come out.
I haven't played that game in years. Like I said the other day, I used to love 2K because you could pick up the sticks, run, score 100 points a game. Now you got to know how to pass. You have to have different buttons.
Then you got to have that flip part for the shot. That turned me off on it. Yeah. I said, oh, no, because I was a slasher.
Yeah.
I was more of a slasher, and I played, like I said, I got up to the superstar, 4-star.
That's right.
Not quite 5. That the people that come out the helicopter, but after they came out, I think it was 2K21 or 20. It kind of I kind of stopped playing it because of the motion they took you through to hit shots.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, they don't have that green light anymore. You just kind of hold the button all the way up there.
They don't even have it anymore. You have to, with the little thing, the little toggle button you have on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
you got to do it with that. Flip it back. Flick it back like that. Can't do it like that. Take us out, Bock.
All right, you're listening to Bock in the Black Shirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bockoven. He is the Husker Hall of Famer and All-American. We'll be back after this. He's Terrell Farley, by the way. I didn't say his name. On Bock in the Black Shirt on 93.7 The Ticket.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you Go Big Red!
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their chicken fingers always fill my tank. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. One love.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln, Cordell & Cordell, 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68508.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikerolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Hi, folks. The weather is for sure heating up, and Coppell Chevrolet GMC is following suit. The discounts are really as good as they've ever been. $14,500 off list price, or 0% financing on select new models. Folks, you heard that right. Smoking hot deals at Coppell. $14,500 off list price or 0% APR. So take that short drive down 144th Street or at koppelcars.com. STK number G269520. All deals with trade-in and approved credit.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are powered by Bauer.
Infrastructure.
Bauer.
Underground.
Right.
Excavating.
All righty, people, it's that time of the day everybody's been waiting for, especially Bill and Bennett. Here we go. Bock 101.
Yeah, let's get to our Big Ten previews here as we'll throw in some fight songs, too, for you guys to grade and have some fun with as well. Today, we get back to some of the originals in the Big Ten. We will preview Minnesota and Wisconsin. As we say, there was some news with Minnesota today as PJ Fleck signed a new contract extension through the year 2030. But we can get to that in a second. First, we got to have you guys listen in on Minnesota's fight song and, of course, grade it for yourselves. Tell me what you think about the Golden Gophers fight song here. There you go, the Golden Gophers fight song there. Takes a while to spell out Minnesota, but what'd you think about that there, Terrell, for today's score?
Well, Buck, it at first it sounded like I was in one of the little presidential parades. All fight songs sound like it belongs in Macy's, New York. What they call
the Thanksgiving Day parade?
Yeah, the Thanksgiving Day parade. Kind of got bad when they tried to spell it out. I think bands make a big mistake when they start talking. Kind of reminded me of when we did our pregame at Nebraska back in the 90s when we used to spell N-E-B-R-A-S-K, Nebraska. Oh, then we run and jump in the middle of a circle. So, yeah, it kind of reminded me of that, but probably like a 3, Bob.
3 out of 10.
Yeah, 3 out of 10. It's terrible.
Bill and Bennett says that's a 1 on his scale. They didn't like that. Old Dad 34. That might be the best score he's got. They give it a 4.5. Rutgers only got 3.2 from him the other day. So a little bit better there for Minnesota. As we jump into the Golden Gophers here, the 9th season for PJ Fleck. What's that one?
I was just saying that one.
Oh, yeah, just the one. That's a rough one.
Thing about this Minnesota team, I love the freshman DB they got.
Yes.
He's a two-way player, not probably like Travis Hunter, but PJ Fleck does an excellent job with the talent that he has. always seem to win 8 games a year. Probably never seen them struggle really except one year. They do have Malachi Coleman. We're going to get to see him play against us. It's going to be kind of funny, but, for the players, it's going to be about them and the return of Malachi Coleman playing against his old team. But PJ Fleck's a coach that has had Nebraska number the last couple of years. Did beat Matt Rule the first year they played with an awful quarterback play from Jeff Sims, and we didn't play him last year, so this is year 3. We do play him again, so we have to see how this game goes. This is one of those games that I can't automatically give Nebraska just because of their head coach and how he coaches the game.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a swing game for Nebraska as we dive into kind of what they did last season. PJ Fleck, by the way, 58-19 with the Gophers, 8-5 overall. I went through earlier in the show 4 of those losses, 4 of their 5 losses last year by single digits. So they were right there. Offensive coordinator Greg Harbaugh, not related to the Harbaughs, though it is spelled like Harbaugh, goes by Harbaugh. And of course, their defensive coordinator now, Danny Collins. It's first year as a defensive coordinator, 5th defensive coordinator in the Fleck era. Corey Heatherman left after just 1 season to take the Miami, Florida job. Now they had a really good defense. This was a very defensive-minded team last year. So that's part of the reason why he got the opportunity in Miami. Now, we know that Coach Fleck kind of has maybe cheesy sort of stuff with the row the boat stuff. Well, Coach Collins, I can imagine, only won over Coach Fleck in the interview process because he's kind of got his own thing. He nicknamed his defense Havoc, and every letter in Havoc stands for something. H is how hard they play. A is attacking style. V is violence. O is playing as one, and C is the competition level that they play with. So you like the Havoc defense brought in here from Coach Collins.
All right, Bock, I'll tell you something that you didn't know about PJ Fleck. When he dresses up,
yeah,
he doesn't wear socks.
I've heard that.
So that's the only bad thing I have to say for him. Hope he has some foot powder in his shoes, but people need to learn how to wear socks when you wear dress shoes.
And it's hilarious back in because that's the one thing I've heard about him from Big Ten Media Days. We'll see if you guys talk or if they talk to him this time. Years ago, when we sent some other talent out there, we had a guy that was pretty well health minded, but he was out on the road. So he said, for the most part, didn't drink soda. He got a soda that day and set it on his desk. PJ Fleck walks by and says, "Be careful, that stuff will kill you." So I thought that was hilarious. Like the one time he was drinking soda. But as we look on the field here, they do lose Max Brosmer. He had an excellent season last year, almost 3,000 yards, 2,828, 18 touchdowns to 6 picks. They're hoping redshirt freshman Drake Lindsey can step in and take that spot. 6'5", 230, Lindsey stands, so he's a big guy. They might rely more on the running game with the freshman quarterback, and that running game is led by Darius Taylor, one of the best overall backs in the Big Ten. 986 yards rushing last year, 350 receiving yards, 12 total touchdowns between the two. Now, they don't have a necessarily clear pass catcher, number 1 pass catcher, but they got some guys that are going to be in the mix. As you mentioned, Malachi Coleman could be among that group. The crown jewel of their recruiting class was Bradley Martino. He could be part of it. Also, as we always look for sons of NFL greats, Donald Driver's son, Christian Driver, could be in the mix to take over that top wide receiver spot. The offensive lineman returns 2 starters with transfer portals players filling in the gaps at the other 3 positions. But like I said, all that is to say this is a defensive-minded team, so a lot of it's going to be on that defense. Coy Parrish leads a strong Gopher defense that will look to reload. Parrish, like you said, very good even in the return game, so you got to look out for him there. Defensive lineman Anthony Smith and linebacker Mavic Baranowski are both listed as preseason third team All Big Ten by Lindsey's, so they've got some talent going there. They are going to have to replace former Big Ten Kicker of the Year Dragon Kesich and punter Mark Crawford, so we'll have a little bit to do with that. Parrish, by the way, 5 interceptions last year, was a first-team All-Big Ten player as a true freshman, so he is really incredible. As we break down some of their numbers, too, 26.2 points per game, They'd like to improve on that. That was 80th in the nation. The run game wasn't all that great, 115 yards per game, 109th in the nation. So again, maybe going to rely a little bit more on Darius Taylor this year than they did with Brosmer last year, who helped the passing game throw for 222 yards, 76 in the nation with that. So total of 337 yards per game, 107th in the country. Really impressive to get 8 wins out of only averaging 26 points per game on offense. Again, a lot of that due to their defense. We talk about Penn States and the Ohio States of the world last year. Iowa always comes up with the top defenses in the Big Ten. Well, Minnesota was one of those teams as well. They were 9th in the country, giving up only 16.9 points per game. The rush defense was 12th in the country, just under 110. 10th in the country in pass defense, 176 yards per game. You're talking about a total defense giving up 285 yards per game. That's 5th in the country. So that's what the Golden Gophers have going for them there. And of course, as we preview Minnesota, Wisconsin here, as we've talked about, Minnesota on the schedule, Wisconsin is not. Minnesota, that Friday night game for Nebraska will be big for them. But let's go ahead and get to Wisconsin. The Badgers, we've talked about earlier in the show, have quite a year coming up because the last year was this massive disappointment. Snapped their 22-year bowl streak after going 5-7 last year. Luke Fickell now 13-13 as the head man with the Badgers. Before we break down into the specific, we better get to their fight song. All right, they don't have any chanting in their fight song. So this is pretty much it. I'll let it go as we go through here, but I want to catch up on some time too, so you can give your grades, give your thoughts about this fight song as I go through it. Last year, again, they're just a 5-7 season, 5 straight losses to end the season, and only 1 loss of their 7 was by single digits. That close game with Oregon, which they lost 16-13. 11 returning starters, 4 on offense, 5 on defense, and their kicker and punter. It'll be the 3rd straight year with a starting quarterback that is transferring. This time, Billy Edwards Jr. comes in from Maryland, where he provides a little bit of a run threat, especially a goal line run threat. So they've got that working for them. New offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes is going to move more away from the offense that Phil Longo had, which was kind of up-tempo spread. They were trying to usher in something different there at Wisconsin. As usual, when they try to do that, it doesn't work. They go right back to the run game. And that's what their new offensive coordinator specializes in, Jeff Grimes. So they'll probably be more of a run-oriented team once again. Running back Cade Yesemele could be the answer there. Just 274 yards last season, but did average 8.3 yards per carry. And they do have a potential all-Big Ten man up front in Riley Mahlman. One of 3 returning starters on the offensive line could help them out as well. And they have one of the top wide receivers in the Big Ten as well, and Vinny Anthony II. He had 672 yards last season. We'll see if they can get that run game going and have a little bit of a threat with Anthony there on the outside as well. Defensively, Mike Tressel leads the defense that has plenty of experience, but slipped quite a bit last year from year 1 under Luke Fickell. Few guys that could lead the group. Ricardo Holloman, the defensive back, probably one of the better defenders, as well as linebacker Christian Allegro. They also do employ an Aussie punter, Atticus Bertrams, averaged 45.3 yards per punt. And then their kicker last year, Nathaniel Vacos, struggled a little bit. Struggled a little bit. 12 of 19 last year, but is a career 49 of 65. That's 75% beyond the arc. To let you know, again, how bad it got for Wisconsin, their rushing offense, only 153 yards per game. Now, granted, I said earlier, Nebraska would be good to get to 150 this year, but for Wisconsin, as we know, that is their bread and butter historically. That was 78th in the nation. Scoring offense, 22.6 points per game. That was 108th. Passing offense, 102nd in the nation with 197 yards per game. That's a total offense of 99th in the country with 350 yards per game. The defense, with those offensive numbers in the past, has been able to hold up, similar to Minnesota. But this last year's defense did not do that. They were good at pass defense, only given 178 yards per game. That's 14th in the country. Unfortunately, the rush defense, not so good. They gave up 165 yards per game there. That was 91st in the country, 23.1 points per game, 47th in the country, and a total of 342.7 yards per game for 41st in the country. Turnover margin didn't help him either, -6 in that department.
All right, there. Bill says he will give that a 4 just out of respect. Otherwise, it kind of yeah, it was terrible, Bock.
Yeah, there's nothing very.
I fell asleep over here for a second. I was in La La Land, but I woke up because they didn't have any chance. So that was a good
That's
thing
right. Yeah,
about
no
it.
chance at the end.
All right, we are down to the last segment here at 93.7 The Ticket. Bock in the Black Shirt. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on The Ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their chicken fingers always fill my tank. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. One love.
Hi, folks. The weather is for sure heating up, and Coppell Chevrolet GMC is following suit. The discounts are really as good as they've ever been. $14,500 off list price, or 0% financing on select new models. Folks, you heard that right. Smoking hot deals at Coppell. $14,500 off list price, or 0% APR. So take that short drive down 144th Street or at koppelcars.com. STK number G269520. All deals with trade-in and approved credit.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikeroll-off.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Now's the best time to lock in early order savings on a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plan for success with the latest technology, including Exact Emerge high-speed planters that help you cover more acres with greater precision and productivity. Order your planter for next year now to unlock the biggest savings of the season. Contact your local Landmark location today and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Summertime is here, and you know what that means. Grilling season. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? Your dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning get you ready for grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so it can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Boom. Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here. All right, y'all, I got a little game I want to play with y'all here. This is going to be called the make or break position for every Big Ten team in 25. When I say make or break, this position group will define everybody's season. You been getting Nebraska first, Bock, or you just want to go down the list?
Yeah, give me Nebraska first. I'm interested in where they got them.
This particular position will make or break Nebraska's season this year. Running back.
Okay.
I think the running back room is okay, but you have Emmett Smith, Emmett Johnson, E Boogie. You have Emmett Johnson there, who's a great back. Has a lot in the tank. Would like to see him get 25 carries a game. Would like to see how he starts off the season every game, not just playing a role in every other game or every other down. But I think this position is one of the most intriguing positions on this team because after Emmett, who's next? Isaiah Mosey, he moved there. We don't know how good he is as a running back. We've seen a little bit of what's his name? Quentin Ives. So we know what we getting. We know he's a big guy, but 20 carries a game. Let's see how he does. We don't know about that. So Connor Booth, freshman. We got Jamarion Parker, who's a freshman. A lot of guys back there unproven. So I guess we have to wait till the season starts to see how this unfolds out because I think that's one position that we have to watch out for.
Yeah, especially, and again, you hope this doesn't happen, but if you have to miss Emmett Johnson for any extended period of time, you need somebody to step up and be reliable and be a threat, right? And part of that is because Emmett Johnson is, when Nebraska's, keep going back to it, last year was really their only big play threat, maybe outside of Isaiah Neyer here and there, but for the most part, is the most reliable one. So, I mean, that's interesting. Basically a similar question was framed to Kenny Wilhite from Adam Carricker earlier. He said quarterback. Some different thoughts there. I could even went defensive line. To kind of mix in the offensive line and running back discussion. You could bring in the offensive line. So there's a lot of positions that are going to be very important for Nebraska to think that, where's it going to swing there? I'd still probably go with quarterback. I still think the play of Dylan Raiola, especially with the offensive emphasis, probably heading toward the passing game a little bit more, is going to be the most important position. But I can see the running back argument.
Yeah, I mean, I know what Dylan Raiola can do. I know what type of receivers he can do. I have a new offensive line that I know is better, but seeing what Emmett does with 20 carries is going to be the most anticipating thing I want to see in this offense. And can he bust 100 yards? That's one thing. All right, Bock, I'm gonna go through this quick list right here of other teams, and you can say yay or nay. Wide receiver, Illinois.
Okay, makes some sense.
Defensive line, Indiana. Quarterback, Iowa.
Oh yeah, that's an important one.
Defensive line, Maryland. Offensive line, is that Minnesota? No, that's not Minnesota. Who is this with the hat on, Buck? What team is that?
I don't know. A logo with
Michigan.
A hat on? Michigan?
Yeah, Michigan.
I don't know why he's got a hat on.
Running back, Michigan State. Quarterback, Minnesota.
Okay.
Defensive line, Northwestern. Defensive line, Ohio State. Cornerback, Oregon. Quarterback, Penn State.
Wow.
Yeah. Quarterback, Purdue. Edge rushers, Rutgers. UCLA, wide receivers. Quarterback, USC. Offensive line, Washington. Defensive line, Wisconsin.
Well, there we go. Now I know the swing positions for those schools. A lot of those kind of make sense. A lot of them, again, coming back to the quarterback position, can change so much. I thought it was funny. Nebraska Strong on YouTube says, nope, it's kicker. We have another season of missing 1 million easy field goals and extra points. Our season will go into the tank fast. So that's going to be an important one as well. Of course, we know every position on the football field, very vital. So
all right.
Makes it tough to pick one.
Bill and Bennett says, thanks for calling me out for the fight song ratings, guys. I love it. I love the segment of the show, and I'm just happy to help. Well, check it out. We're going to have more of that next week, Bill. We also going to have next week countdown to Huskers. We're going to have 3 to 4 Huskers players a day that we read their bios and go over their positions and see what help they can do for the team. And when we get all the players done, we'll be complete. We'll have that down and ready. All right, Bock, take us out.
All right, thanks for listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be back tomorrow on The Block, starting next.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between